Welcome to the Binge List, fellow TV and film fanatics. I'm Greg, and I've been recommending TV shows and movies that you can access from the comfort of your own home for over a year now. And 2024 gave us so many good shows on all the big streaming platforms that look like perfect additions to your watch list. But today I wanted to share a few options on Netflix that stood out to me as can't miss options. And I'm looking back at 2024 in every genre and trying to narrow it down to a list that includes drama, action, adventure, coming of age stories, comedy, thrillers, animated, and even a few international titles. But before we get started, enter to win a $100 gift card by liking, commenting your favorite series down below, and subscribing to the channel, and you'll get entered into a drawing at the end of the month. But as always, stop mindlessly scrolling, stop wasting your time. Let's jump in and check out the list.
You've endangered this entire organization. He's dead. He's in my shed.
He's dead. In your shed?
Oh.
First on the list is one of the most highly anticipated Netflix originals that we got in December, and this is the series Black Doves. This is a spy thriller set in London and follows Helen, played by Keira Knightley. And on the surface, Helen seems like this ordinary housewife, but she is secretly a trained assassin working for a shadowy organization. The story really picks up when her lover is murdered, and Helen teams up with her former colleague Sam to uncover the truth, seek revenge, and confront her past. While Black Doves does fit many classic spy thriller tropes, complete with shootouts, political intrigue, and morally ambiguous characters, it also delivers moments of surprising lightheartedness and emotional depth. And for me, at times, it played more like a buddy comedy layered with some espionage in it. And Keira Knightley shines in this leading role. She has proved a ton of times that she's capable of playing a badass character. And I also love the chemistry that she had with her co-star Ben Whishaw. And their dynamic adds a unique layer to this story. Plus, you have a really great supporting cast that is equally as strong, with Sarah Lancashire, Omari Douglas, Andrew Koji, and other familiar faces delivering quality performances in this series. Plus, the production value was great, with stylish visuals, sharp direction, and a captivating soundtrack that enhanced this suspenseful atmosphere of the show. The only hiccup that I really had with this one here as a diehard spy thriller fan was that at moments it did feel a little bit predictable and reliant on some of the familiar cliches of the genre, but overall I felt like the show kept you hooked in with fast-paced action and an overall engaging storyline. So no, it's not breaking any new ground, but it does deliver plenty of entertainment with a mix of high-stakes espionage, sharp British humor, and morally complex characters, plus a quality cast. So Black Doves definitely deserves a place on this list.
Are you serious right now?
She'll burn out, and then she'll take a little nap. She's like a puppy.
Now you're out here with whore number one and whore number two?
I hope I'm whore number one.
There are a few on this list here today that I have recommended recently, but absolutely deserve to be on the list. And the first one of those is one that I got hooked on and I binged the entire thing in one day. And this is Nobody Wants This. And I said this last time, but I think it's a great place to start. Yes, this is a rom-com, but it is extremely funny, so don't let the romance part lose your attention. This one stars Kristen Bell as Joanne, who is this agnostic sex podcaster, and then Adam Brody as Noah, this newly single rabbi. We followed them from their awkward first encounter to navigating their hilarious meddling families in the show, and then it strikes this perfect balance between heart and humor as they try to bridge the gap between their wildly different lives. And what really elevates this is this incredible chemistry between Belle and Brody. Their dynamic feels magnetic, seemingly shifting between laugh out loud banter to genuinely heartfelt moments. Whether they're tackling their cultural differences or sharing some more intimate scenes, they bring so much charisma to the story. Honestly, it is their performances that make this show so much fun to watch. But on top of that, the supporting cast adds even more charm. You have Joanne's sister and mother, or Noah's brother and sister-in-law, delivering plenty of laughably awkward, relatable moments throughout the series. This one was definitely reminiscent of other shows that I really enjoy. It had this feel-good, lighthearted tone that just had you smiling throughout, and the humor is so infectious that you'll find yourself laughing out loud way more than you'd think going into this. So if you're looking for a show that's equal parts funny, heartfelt, and 100% binge-worthy, Nobody Wants This is a great watch that'll have you smiling all the way to the end.
It's one of the great cosmic mysteries. How it is that someone can go from being a total stranger to being the most important person in your life?
Let's stay in the romance lane with another great option on the list here from 2024, and this is One Day. This limited series is adapted from a best-selling novel and chronicles the intricate and evolving relationship between Emma and Dexter over the span of 20 years. The story itself revisits their lives on July 15th of each year, offering glimpses into how their paths cross, diverge, and intertwine through the highs and lows of love, career struggles, personal growth, and mostly missed opportunities. At first, this one starts off a little like a college rom-com, but works its way to this more emotional storytelling that you see in shows like This Is Us or Normal People. So if you enjoy those types of titles, this series will definitely connect with you. It masterfully explores how the past and the present and future choices shape these two individuals. There are a ton of heartfelt, funny, and heavier moments in this one, so it does tap into a lot of different emotions, blending it all together while capturing the complexities of the passage of time in a way that feels intriguing and mysterious, but also extremely relatable. And Bika Mott and Leon Woodall, who play Emma and Dexter, both deliver amazing performances. They brought depth, emotion, and charisma to their characters, and they have this fun dynamic together. And the series, in my opinion, does have this unique structure. I really thought that showing their lives unfold on this single day each year creates an intriguing narrative rhythm, often leaving you to piece together this little mystery in each episode. In the early episodes, the pacing may feel a bit slower for you as the story is establishing the characters and how the story is going to be told, but I never felt like the episodes felt forced or boring, and it certainly is worth pushing through. So if you're looking for a moving, character-driven story, One Day is a great addition to your watch list.
They put poop all over our statue. Why would you think that that's funny?
Next up is the series Kaos from back in August, and this one reimagines Greek mythology with a darkly comedic and modern twist. It explores the lives of Greek gods, focusing mostly in on Zeus, the king of the gods, who is struggling to maintain order in this chaotic universe. The series delves into the personal lives and relationships of the gods, exploring their insecurities, their rivalries, and unexpected humanity. And I love Jeff Goldblum. He is amazing in just about anything. He's so charismatic, he's very entertaining, even really funny, facial expressions, physical acting, witty dialogue. And in this one, we see him as Zeus, where he is spiraling out of control in this whirlwind of paranoia in a unique and humorous way that really only Jeff Goldblum can do. But he embodies and brings this character to life. It reminded me a lot of his performance in Thor Ragnarok as the Grand Master, where he is, yes, this all-powerful character, but also silly and ridiculous. And on top of that, I really enjoyed the spin on Greek mythology. I think this series offers a very unique and modern perspective on it, taking these classic characters, locations, and ideals of this mythology and infusing it into the modern world with plenty of humor, which did give us some great world building as they mesh these two things together, along with some visually striking imagery and unique aesthetics. And overall, the series does boast a pretty talented cast here, including Jeanette McTeer as Hera, Cliff Curtis as Poseidon, David Thewlis as Hades, so there are plenty of other quality performances here. But I will say Kaos has received some mixed reviews. I found it humorous, the visuals were great, the cast made it very unique and entertaining, so I definitely think this one's worth checking out.
Aang, you must master the Avatar state.
It can be the ultimate weapon.
Next, let's move on to Netflix's live-action adaptation of Avatar: The Last Airbender. And this is a series that I do believe deserves way more than the 7.2 IMDb rating that it currently has. And maybe that's because I'm a massive fan of the original animated series and someone who was deeply disappointed by the movie adaptation, but I went into this one with very cautious optimism, and I can confidently say that this version does do justice to that original story. So if you are unfamiliar with this, the story is Aang, a 12-year-old boy, and he is the legendary Avatar who awakens from being frozen in ice for 100 years. And he is destined to master all four of the elements and now must defeat the Fire Nation, which was waging war during his absence in the world. And with the help of his friends Katara and Sokka, he embarks on an epic quest to restore balance to this world. And the narrative is definitely more lighthearted in this one, but it does not lack thrilling action, heartfelt moments, and tons of humor too, having a really good balance between nostalgic moments and fresh interpretations of this story. But I will say it's not too fresh. The adaptation does stay pretty true to the heart of the original story, trimming some of the fluff from the animated series, but it 100% captures its adventurous spirit, the themes, and of course the iconic bending martial arts, which made the action sequences and the fight scenes exciting and also very nostalgic. Plus, the young cast in this one delivers stellar performances. I thought that they embodied the essence of these beloved characters, charisma, and tons of authenticity. And all of this is wrapped up into this beautiful world. Visually, the series is breathtaking with gorgeous sets, intricate costumes, and faithful recreations of these iconic characters, creatures, and locations. So Avatar: The Last Airbender is an adaptation that honors the original while delivering a visually impressive and emotionally engaging experience. So a phenomenal watch for fans and newcomers from 2024.
You are here because you
Let's move forward and dive into Vikings Valhalla, which is the sequel to the iconic Vikings series, and this one does wrap up its third and final season in 2024. This is a historical drama series that continues to chronicle the lives of the legendary Viking figures during the turbulent era of Viking expansion. And it focuses in on the clashes between the Vikings, the English, and the growing influence of the Christian church, mirroring many of the themes of its predecessor. And I'll be upfront, Vikings the original does remain one of my all-time favorite series, and Viking Valhalla does not quite reach to those same heights, but if you enjoyed the original series or you're a fan of shows like The Last Kingdom, this is a strong addition to your watch list. Again, like its predecessor, this one does start off a bit slow as you get reintroduced to this world, but the series improves steadily with each episode and each season, weaving together significant historical events with deeply personal character arcs, delving into their ambitions, struggles, and the relationships amidst religious conflict and some truly brutal warfare. The cast, including Sam Corlett, Leo Suter, Frida Gustafsson, Johannesson, Laura Berlin, deliver authentic and compelling performances, bringing these historical and legendary figures to life. But my favorite part, and honestly what kept me coming back over and over again, is probably something you've heard before if you follow this channel, but it's the world building. You have impressive visuals in this one, with stunning cinematography and elaborate sets that recreate every part of this Viking world, including the epic scale of these brutal, legendary battle scenes and the epic voyages they went on, providing this sense of grandeur and adventure. So if you're looking for a visually stunning and action-packed historical drama series, Vikings Valhalla is absolutely worth checking out for yourself. I said this last time I recommended this, but I usually try to avoid repeating titles altogether to give you a wide variety of recommendations in my videos, but I'm making another exception for my next pick, and this is Senna, because it is just that good. It absolutely deserves to be on this list. And this is a biographical drama miniseries chronicling the life of Ayrton Senna, the legendary Formula One driver, and it captures his early career, meteoric rise to fame, and his tragic passing, offering you an adrenaline-filled, deeply emotional, and immersive experience. And as a fan of F1, I was thrilled to see how much this series dives into his actual racing career, showcasing the high-stakes world of Formula One. But what really sets it apart is the exploration of Senna's personal life, giving you this in-depth look at his relationships, the immersive pressure of fame, and his humanitarian efforts on top of that. The series itself does feel remarkably authentic, from the lavish world of F1 to the thrilling racing sequences, which are visually stunning and packed full of energy. And I think what really brings this all together is Gabriel Leone, because he is incredible in this series. He does deliver a standout performance, perfectly capturing Senna's essence, even down to his voice, which sounded eerily similar to the actual Senna, just adding authenticity to the performance itself. So if I'm recommending this show again so soon, it is truly because it deserves to be on this list, so don't miss out on this one. Definitely check out Senna.
Just think about all the lives that you could save.
The only life I'm trying to save is yours.
My next pick actually came from the comment section a while ago, and thank you again, because after watching it myself, it is definitely worth recommending. So let's talk about Supacell. This series introduces us to a group of everyday people from a South London neighborhood who suddenly and seemingly at random develop an interesting assortment of superpowers. And we follow Tosin Cole, who stars as Michael in this series, who is a delivery driver juggling his newly acquired abilities with the usual drama in his personal life. And if you enjoy shows like Misfits or Heroes, this one is going to be perfect for you. These characters aren't billionaires, they're not super soldiers, they're not Norse gods, they're not mystical creatures, they're just regular people trying to deal with regular life in these very irregular circumstances. The grounded approach makes this show feel very down to earth and relatable, and whether they're facing super powered issues or everyday issues, you can't help but empathize with these characters. And of course, no superhero story is complete though without action, and Supacell does deliver tons of that. The action scenes are top notch, they have great special effects, they look incredible, and the powers that these characters have are very creative and fun to watch on screen. They picked really interesting powers for this group and showed them off in these really cool and creative ways. And again, thank you to the comment section for this great suggestion. Supacell is a solid superhero series, and I'm already excited for the second season of this in the future.
Who said anything about Charles? All these years, you were hiding someone else.
My next pick on this list here today is a little bit of a bittersweet option here for me because I really like this one, but Netflix did not extend it for a second season. But this is the action-packed comedy series, The Brother's Son. This one follows two estranged brothers, Charles, who is a ruthless gangster from the Jade Dragons, and then Bruce, who lives a peaceful life in Los Angeles, unaware of his family's criminal ties. The series picks up with their worlds colliding when Charles arrives in Los Angeles after an assassination attempt on their father, aiming to protect their mother. I loved how this show put a fresh spin on the gangster genre, focusing a lot on the cultural clashes between Charles and Bruce's vastly different upbringings, while weaving together plenty of family dynamics on top of that. And this really draws you into this unique relationship between them. You'll find yourself rooting for them to survive their dangerous circumstances, of course, but also for them to come together as a family. Cast in this one is also fantastic. It includes the ever amazing Michelle Yeoh, but you also have Sam Lee and Justin Chien, who play these brothers who have great chemistry and work together so well, with a great supporting cast with Jun Lee, Heidi Kwan, and Jianzhu Zhang. Plus, it was actually pretty surprising that the series was able to blend together so many elements so well. You have tons of thrilling action sequences, well choreographed fights, laugh out loud moments, and a surprising amount of heart. So overall, The Brother's Son is a standout option for me, with a strong cast and a unique premise that blends together all these different elements. And even though it won't be returning for a second season, it's definitely worth checking out for a fun take on the genre and some awesome characters.
I like the name.
Like Senna, I am bending my rule of not repeating recommendations too soon for my next pick as well, and this is the riveting psychological thriller series Ripley. This is an adaptation of Patricia Highsmith's The Talented Mr. Ripley, and it offers this chilling glimpse into this manipulative schemes of Tom Ripley, the character, portrayed by Andrew Scott. In this series, we do see Tom sent to Italy to bring home a wealthy man's son, but Ripley becomes completely infatuated and obsessed with this man's lifestyle. And eventually his ambitions and sociopathic impulses drive him into this dangerous spiral, setting him on a trail of deadly consequences. The series is a slow burn, character-driven narrative that dives deep into the character's psyche and motivations, meticulously exploring his obsession and manipulation, which is all made possible through Andrew Scott's exceptional performance. I do think overall that the cast in this one is solid. You have Dakota Fanning, Johnny Flynn, Bakeem Woodbine, and Maurizio Lombardi, but Andrew Scott is absolutely the standout. This is his show and he owns every scene that he is in. He is able to effortlessly slip between this innocent and charming man and this deeply chilling sociopath who with just a look can make you feel uneasy. And his portrayal makes Tom Ripley a fascinating yet unsettling figure in the show. And one thing I wasn't sure going into this was that I was going to enjoy the black and white cinematography, but they actually use it really well to capture the elegant yet haunting atmosphere of 1950s Italy, and it only adds to this story. This visual style actually amplifies the sense of timelessness, of course, but the suspense that actually defines the story. So if psychological crime thrillers are your thing, Ripley is a stylish, suspenseful, and beautifully crafted series that you won't want to pass up.
They are coming.
Who are they? That's the question, right?
Let's move forward and talk about The Three Body Problem, which is a sci-fi drama series that debuted on Netflix back in March. And this show spans multiple timelines, exploring humanity's first contact with an alien civilization. They plan an invasion, and humanity is divided. Some factions view these aliens as superior beings to welcome, while others prepare to resist them. And at the core of the story, we follow these brilliant scientists who are each grappling a looming threat while facing their own personal dilemmas as well. And I did say this last time I recommended this series, but this does come from Benioff and Weiss, who are the team behind Game of Thrones. And I know that their involvement can be a little divisive, but I'm hopeful that they've learned from past experiences, and with their source material in this one already being complete, that there's a solid foundation for the story. We won't run into an end of Game of Thrones type situation. One thing that this does deliver is a stunning production value. The visuals are extraordinary extraordinary. It does bring to life these virtual worlds, sprawling landscapes, and futuristic technology vividly on screen for you. And I will say, when I first jumped into this, I did feel like the pacing was a little bit rushed and a little bit light on depth at times, but I had to remind myself of the early days of Game of Thrones, which made it clear that this season 1 was really just laying the groundwork for something much bigger to come, where the character arcs and these initial plot lines are not giving us the entire picture. They're just hinting at these major developments that are about to come. But like most of the shows on this list, the cast here is another highlight. You have Benedict Wong, Jess Hong, Liam Cunningham, Alex Sharp, Isaac Gonzalez, all bringing strong performances. They do a great job capturing the tension and the fear of humanity's situation, and I thought they did an amazing job with the time that they had. This series was only 8 episodes for its first season, and it was not enough to dive into each of their stories enough. So if you're in the mood for a visually stunning, suspenseful, and thought-provoking sci-fi series with an incredible cast, Three Body Problem is well worth adding to your watch list.
You will receive a significant amount of money in return for letting us carry out our activities.
You's like a dink in it. What the
Let's move forward and dive into one that I don't want to say is my favorite on this list here today, but it is definitely up there for me. And this is the Netflix original series, The Gentleman, which is this action comedy crime series from Guy Ritchie that spins off from his 2019 film. The story itself does center on Edward, a young aristocrat who unexpectedly inherits his father's sprawling estate, but quickly discovers that it's actually a lucrative criminal empire. And Edward partners with the clever and resourceful Susie as he is thrown into the high stakes world of the British drug trade, where he must navigate treacherous waters to protect his inheritance, outwit his enemies, and most importantly, survive this story. So if you're a fan of Guy Ritchie's signature style, this series delivers in every possible way. It is packed with slick, well choreographed action, razor sharp humor, and plenty of twists that will keep you guessing as it expands on the world from his film. Secondly, loved Theo James in this. He shines in this role. I thought him portraying Edward's evolution from naive outsider to calculated and hardened criminal within this underworld. His performance shows off his range as an actor, plus he has really solid chemistry with Kaya Scodelario, who plays Susie in this series, and they play off of each other really well and have this evolving relationship throughout the series that feels sometimes romantic, then it's buddy cop, then it's hating each other. It's just this very interesting dynamic that evolves and changes. Plus there's a lot of familiar faces in this cast overall, with Vinnie Jones, Giancarlo Esposito, Daniel Ings, and they're all bringing quality performances filled with charisma, which just adds to the quality and overall entertainment value of this one here. So for fans of fast-paced storytelling, dark humor, and stylish action, The Gentleman is a must-watch.
So what are you planning?
Watch it all burn.
Up next on our list is the series Arcane, which is Netflix's highest rated series from 2024 according to IMDb. This original animated series is set in the world of the popular video game League of Legends and is far from your typical cartoon show. I'll admit I was super late to jump on this bandwagon, but it absolutely lives up to the hype. The story focuses on two sisters. You have Vi and you have Jinx as they navigate the divided and dangerous cities of Piltover and Zaun. And from the very first moments, Arcane delivers incredible visuals. This show looks amazing. The animation style feels like it is straight out of a video game, blending intricate character designs, vibrant colors, and this fluid motion that's nothing short of fantastic. And even the open credit scenes are top tier. Paired with this killer soundtrack, it's perfectly setting the tone for the show right away. But overall, this series is packed with substance, emotional depth. The narrative explores heavy themes like family, relationships, corruption, power, delivering moments that actually hit really hard emotionally while still being action-packed and thrilling. Again, I really love the actors in this one who bring these animated characters to life. You have a really awesome relationship between Vi and Jinx, who are played by Haley Steinfeld and Ella Purnell, who these sisters, they have a great dynamic. They're complex, they are deeply flawed, and have compelling backstories that drive the narrative forward, and their relationship grows and evolves, making it more and more intriguing the more that you watch the show. And again, if you enjoy intricate world building like me, Arcane does a great job. It has this awesome and rich detailed universe of League of Legends to build off of, complete with political intrigue, social tensions, magic, technology, warring factions, all woven into the fabric of the story. And I'm praising this, but this has been praised by tons of others for its exceptional storytelling, breathtaking visuals, and strong character development. So if you're a fan of the game, you've already seen this, but anybody else, this is still a perfect watch for sci-fi fans, fantasy, or simply beautiful stories.
And our mission this summer is to have a good time all the time.
Another fast-paced adventure series here on the list is Outer Banks, and the story follows John B. Rutledge and his close-knit group of friends called the Pogues as they embark on thrilling treasure hunts including local legends and the mystery of John B.'s missing father. Their search for hidden gold and treasures throw them into conflict with the wealthy elite of the Outer Banks, uncovering a web of crime, secrets, and betrayals all along the way. This show here is designed to be fun. It blends mystery, romance, coming-of-age themes, and crime into this thrilling escape where something exciting happens in nearly every single episode, and at its core, Outer Banks feels like this nostalgic 80s movie to me, with rebellious teens, the worst parenting skills ever, and a tight-knit group of underdogs that you can't help but root for. Their friendships, relationships, struggles with the rigid social hierarchy make them relatable and endearing all the time, and while the cast might not be winning any Oscars with their performances in this one, I did really enjoy them. They're perfectly in tune with the show's vibe itself. You have Jay Stokes, Madeline Klein, Addison Bailey, JD, and Rudy Panko, who bring charm and heart to their roles, making this Pogues group a crew that is very easy to get invested into. And those of you that have watched this know this, but some of the storylines in this one can be a bit messy, it can be ridiculous, and the narrative twists can grow increasingly outlandish, but that's part of the charm in my opinion. It's the ultimate escape show where logic takes a backseat to adventure and fun. And as for season 4, which we got in 2024, it does deliver more of what fans love about this show, but for whatever reason, it does lean heavier into some more serious moments, but it's certainly not my favorite season, but it does still carry the essence of what makes this series a standout, so it definitely still belongs on this list. So if you're okay throwing logic out the door for some fun and chaos, Outer Banks is a wildly entertaining ride filled with treasure hunts, heists, and non-stop adventure.
You want my help? You don't want my help. I'm the smartest man you ever met, biggest idiot in the world. Can't we admit that I am not the only problem?
Let's move forward and talk about the gripping political thriller series, The Diplomat. And in this one, we get Kerry Russell as Kate, who is a career diplomat who is unexpectedly appointed to the US Embassy in the United Kingdom. And we follow her as she faces escalating global tensions while also dealing with complexities of her turbulent marriage to a fellow career diplomat pal. And in 2024, we did get season 2, where we see alliances tested, secrets revealed, and the stakes for international stability reaching new heights. This show has been praised by viewers and critics alike for its intricate plot filled with political intrigue and of course the drama, packed with twists and turns that keep you engaged as they weave together the high stakes of Kate's job with the emotional depth of her character, which she is constantly confronting in the aftermath of different traumas and the pressure of her choices. I did say this last time that I recommended this one, but I love Rufus Sewell. He remains a standout as Hall in this one here. He's a very interesting character who is as enigmatic as ever in season 2, but really Kerry Russell is the true anchor of the series. She delivers yet another exceptional performance. She masterfully portrays the character of Kate. Her character feels super believable as this intelligent, sharp diplomat, but also she brings to life her character's vulnerability, making her both compelling and relatable. Plus, these two do have undeniable chemistry, which adds an emotional layer to the show that only elevates this story even further. So if you're in the mood for a smart, engaging series that combines political drama, complex characters, and sharp storytelling, The Diplomat is an amazing addition to your watch list.
Your phone? Camera glasses? Recorder? Are you just tapping different parts of your body?
Yes, I left everything in my room. I'm just so excited. I'll be right back.
Let's move back to something a little bit more lighthearted with the series A Man on the Inside, which is a heartwarming comedy series that offers a unique twist on the detective genre. And this series does star Ted Danson as Charles, a recently widowed and retired professor who is encouraged by his daughter to find a new hobby, when unexpectedly he answers an ad for a private investigator and lands an undercover assignment at a retirement home. Tasked with observing the residents for a special investigation, Charles must navigate the social intricacies of senior living while also keeping his true purposes under wraps. To be honest, Ted Danson is just as good as he's ever been at 77 years old, and he is the heart of the series, delivering a performance that's equal parts charming and witty. His portrayal of Charles obviously brings tons of humor to his character, but also some depth, making his journey of self-discovery and this newfound purpose both relatable and entertaining. And the show's premise is refreshing refreshingly original. This is a retired professor turned undercover investigator in a retirement home, which is a perfect backdrop for the style of humor that they use in this show. And they do use it to its fullest to make you laugh with awkward situations, witty dialogue, and then Ted Danson is just a great comedic actor with amazing timing. But I never felt like they pushed it too far over the edge, making it stupid, silly, or feeling forced. Striking this good balance, blending the humor with touching themes that are exploring things like aging, loneliness, and this search for meaning in later life. So if you like charming, feel-good comedies with a unique premise and an excellent lead performance, A Man on the Inside is definitely worth checking out.
게임에 돌아온 걸 환영하네.
Next up on the list is the series Squid Game, which is the global phenomenon that captivated audiences worldwide. And if you're not familiar, season 1 did introduce us to the gripping and deadly competition wherein deeply indebted individuals participate in a series of children's games. But it has a terrifying twist. Losing meant certain death. And now season 2 takes that story even further, delving into the mysterious organization behind the games. And we again follow Gihan, haunted by his experiences in the first season, and now returns with a mission to dismantle this organization from within. And I, like many others, was totally engrossed in season 1, and it stood out with its unique premise, its impactful storytelling, and it blended suspenseful, edge of your seat tension with sharp social commentary, making it both thrilling and thought-provoking. And I also really love the cast in season 1. They delivered powerful performances that made the series suspenseful and emotional as they navigated these games and someone would lose. And I did really like season 2. I thought that it raised the stakes in a lot of different ways. It had fresh players, each with different backstories, and introduced us to even more brutal and complex games, while also at the same time just expanding the Squid Game universe, exploring the organization that's behind all of this and its twisted logic. But the only area of season 2 that I felt was a little flat was the connection to the actual supporting characters. Beyond Lee Jung-jae, who continues to be awesome as the lead in this one, and Lee Byung-hun, who we get to see a lot more of in season 2, the supporting cast just didn't make that same connection with me. And also, this is my customary warning for those of you who do not enjoy shows with a ton of violence. I would definitely avoid this one. And while season 2 may have not hit in the same way that the first season did, it does continue to deliver some thought-provoking entertainment. It's perfect for fans of suspense, high-stakes storytelling, and intriguing visuals, so definitely check out the continuation of Squid Games for yourself.
The lineage, condemned to 100 years of solitude, did not have a second opportunity on Earth.
Next on the list is 100 Years of Solitude, which is an ambitious adaptation of Gabriel Garcia Marquez's iconic novel. The series starts with cousins Jose and Ursula leaving their village behind and embarking on a long journey in search of a new home. They are accompanied by friends and other adventurers who all come together to found the utopian town of Macondo. And this series really chronicles the rise and fall of the Buendia family in this mythical town, weaving together a multi-generational story. And I know people who read source material typically hate adaptations, and I've not read this book, so I can't speak of the differences or changes, but from the reviews that I have read, this one might be a little bit different than that. And to be honest, I had a really hard time putting this recommendation together because this show is a lot. And if you're going to watch this, you just know that this has a narrative that is super complex and can even be hard to follow at times. I really had to pay attention as it popped around from character to character, timeline, stories, magical elements, everything in between. But from watching it, at its heart, this series lies in the intertwined lives of this family, exploring their triumphs and tragedies over time and what feels like this inescapable repetition of history. The one thing that I was pleasantly surprised about with this one was the magical elements in the series. It blended fantastical events and supernatural elements into this narrative, something that I really wasn't expecting going into this, knowing nothing about it. And this magical portion made this series visually super interesting, and it almost at times had this hypnotic look to it, using some stunning cinematography, some interesting effects and intricate set designs, and also of course these vibrant costumes that brought to life this world of Macondo, capturing this enchanting and sometimes almost haunting atmosphere. So if you can commit the time and focus, 100 Years of Solitude is completely worth it for fans of these sweeping multi-generational dramas with some magical elements that add a little pizzazz to it.
You pooped in the customer's bathroom, and you used up all your vacation days, and I still looked the other way the day after that insane clown posse concert.
I couldn't get the fucking makeup off.
Okay.
So let's move forward from the beautifully told and intricate plot of 100 Years of Solitude to the low-budget, raunchy comedy series Tires. And this is a series co-created by the popular stand-up comedian Shane Gillis. The show follows Will, an underqualified heir to a struggling auto parts repair shop, as he tries to run a branch of his family's business. Along the way, he must deal with the loudmouth and often obnoxious cousin Shane, who also works at this shop. It's worth noting Tires leans heavily into Gillis's comedic style, which in my opinion can be best described as this blue-collar bro style humor. So if that's not your thing, this might not be the show for you, and that's totally fine. But if this brand of humor clicks for you, Tires is perfect. Go watch it now because it delivers plenty of absurd and laugh out loud moments. The cast itself does feature a ton of other stand-up comedians as well. Of course, you've got Gillis himself, but Stephen Gerben, Stavros, Andrew Schultz bringing solid performances for what this show is, and they amplify the show's humor tenfold. And at 6 episodes, this series is a quick and easy binge. I do think that I watched it in like a single night, but I laughed the entire time. And in such a short time, they do manage to create these relatable and well-rounded characters, making it surprisingly entertaining and engaging for just a short runtime. So Tires is such a funny and entertaining comedy series that's perfect for those looking for a no-frills show. If you're a fan of Gillis's style or enjoy this style of humor, again, 100% go check this out right away.
I really don't know where it's gonna end. I think one of us is gonna have to die now.
The last two on our list today are probably two of the more emotionally draining and dark titles on our list here today. And the first one here is the miniseries Baby Reindeer. This was adapted from Richard Gadd's one-man dark comedy show. And now we see Gadd portray the lead character Donnie in this one, who is an aspiring performer / comedian. And the story itself does revolve around Donnie's emotional journey and his relentless stalker, who is this woman he meets at his day job, who in a very unique way forces him to confront a great deal of his buried trauma. I want to start off by saying that this is an outstanding show, but I do also want to say that this gets very intense. It has a lot of dark subject matter and graphic detail in the series that delves deep into the psychological impact of stalking, mental and physical abuse, exploring how it has affected Donnie's life and his relationships. I did think that Gadd was fantastic in his role here. You can feel his character's emotions and trauma throughout this nuanced performance, but for me, Jessica Gunning really steals the show. I did love how she was able to blend together this awkward innocence with this perfect amount of crazy and unsettling obsession in her character. And despite those heavier elements, Baby Reindeer is still able to deliver a decent amount of dark humor to keep things from going off the rails. It can be shocking at times, and yes, you're probably not busting up laughing all the time, but overall the comedy does add a unique lens to the show's careful exploration of this trauma, and still be prepared for some moments that are truly heartbreaking and deeply uncomfortable. And I will say that this is probably not a show for everyone, but if you can handle it, Baby Reindeer offers a powerful and thought-provoking watch.
Our life was one thing. And we decided we weren't going to take that anymore. Unbelievable.
And then last but not least on our list here today is Monsters, and this is season 2 with the Erik and Lyle Menedez story. And just like the last title, I do want to say that even before getting into my recommendation, that this is a very graphic show and it explores some truly horrible events and then some even more horrible events that led to those events. So if you cannot handle graphic content, I would not watch this, because even I had to stop a few times because this one hits pretty hard. But if you can, this is a chilling fictional retelling of the infamous Menedez brothers' case. Convicted of murdering their parents in 1996, the series dives deep into their lives, exploring their childhood and the events that led up to the murders and the dramatic trials that follow. Again, even as someone who can handle darker themes, I found this series to be a bit heavy at times, even overwhelming. The fact that it is based on real events makes the story that much more chilling, particularly in scenes where the brothers recount their experiences. It is filled with graphic detail and emotionally intense moments. That said, the story is undeniably powerful, and that's brought to life by standout performances from the cast. You have Javier Bardem, Chloe Sevigny, Nicholas Chavez, Cooper Koch delivering haunting and deeply emotional performances on on all different levels, and this complexity of their characters shines through, making you grapple with conflicting emotion, where at times these brothers are just truly monsters. But through excellent writing and performances from the cast, you actually find yourself at times sympathizing with them as they disclose their abuse and the trauma that they had to deal with growing up. So Monsters, the Erik and Lyle Menedez story, is disturbing yet compelling, and it offers a nuanced look at this notorious case. It is definitely a must-watch for true crime enthusiasts. Thanks for hanging out with us all the way to the end, everybody. You can check out some of our other recommendations right here, but also make sure to enter to win that $100 gift card by liking, subscribing, and commenting your favorite series down below. It does help us get our recommendations out to others looking for great movies and series they can check out from home. But thanks again. We'll see you in the next one.